Alright, football fans, the longest wait in the 2025 NFL Draft is finally over. After an unprecedented slide that saw him go unselected through the entire first, second, and third rounds, Shedeur Sanders, the quarterback from Colorado, finally heard his name called on Saturday, day 3 of the draft. The mystery of his NFL home has been solved. The Cleveland Browns have selected Shedeur Sanders with the 144th overall pick in the 5th round. It was an outcome that stunned many, even some of the talent evaluators who had been critical of him throughout the process. Shedeur was one of the biggest mysteries in this draft class, undergoing a winding evaluation process filled with intense scrutiny, pre-draft controversy, and ultimately, a huge slide down the draft board, bypassed by multiple quarterback-needy franchises in the early rounds. His fall was already being called the most memorable in draft history after Thursday and Friday. And sliding all the way into the 5th round only solidifies that title. While the wait was undoubtedly long and perhaps agonizing, the moment his name was finally called was met with pure jubilation at his draft watch site in Texas. Videos posted online show an eruption of cheers and celebration, culminating in Shedeur himself jumping into a pool with his socks on in pure, unadulterated joy and relief. Speaking to reporters after being drafted, Sanders expressed immense gratitude, framing the moment with a positive outlook despite the unexpected fall. "I'm extremely grateful for the opportunity throughout everything," Sanders told reporters. He emphasized his focus isn't on the negative, instead, he's looking forward because the positive happened so fast. He also addressed questions about how he plans to fit in with the Cleveland Browns organization and approach the locker room dynamic. This is where he spoke directly to the pre-draft noise that likely contributed to his slide. "I feel like first thing getting in is showing respect to the vets," he said, acknowledging the importance of earning his place. He added, "I'm getting ready to work and show the coaches. Have them understand I'm ready to work. Actually understand the real me." This sounds like a direct response to reports questioning his work ethic or attitude. He elaborated, "I'm truly thankful for the opportunity for people to actually see the real me and not be able to see stuff that could be true or not." That last part seems to refer directly to the anonymous criticisms and speculation that surrounded him, acknowledging that some things reported may or may not have been accurate. But he's ready to let his true self be seen by the team. From the Cleveland Browns' perspective, selecting Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round was a calculated move based on value. General Manager Andrew Berry explained the decision after the draft. "We live by our board," Berry stated, indicating that Sanders was rated highly enough by the Browns' internal evaluation process to warrant this pick when he became available. Berry described Sanders as a good, solid prospect at the most important position in the game. The key takeaway from Berry's comments, and why the Browns felt comfortable making this pick after passing on him multiple times earlier, comes down to value at pick number 144. Berry felt that by the time they got to the 5th round, Shedeur was probably mispriced relative to the draft. He elaborated, "Really, the acquisition cost was pretty light and it's a guy that we think can outproduce his draft stock." For the Browns, this wasn't necessarily about a blockbuster splash. It was about getting a player they believe has significant upside at a very low draft cost relative to his talent projection. Berry also outlined the expectations for Sanders upon arriving in Cleveland. "Obviously Shedeur has kind of grown up in the spotlight," Berry acknowledged, referencing his unique upbringing, "but our expectation is for him to come in here and work and compete. Nothing's been promised. Nothing will be given. It's a clear message that despite his name and college profile, he'll have to earn everything in the NFL." On the football side, Berry praised Sanders' skills, calling him highly accurate and able to play well from the pocket. It's impossible to discuss Shedeur's draft slide without referencing the context that likely contributed to it. As we discussed previously, his fall came in the wake of a last-minute surge of controversial anonymous quotes from league sources that hammered his play in pre-draft interviews, using harsh words like entitled and not very good. While GM Berry suggests that report likely didn't fundamentally alter evaluations that had been done over months, it certainly brought existing concerns into sharp public focus right before the draft, intensifying the drama and making him the biggest question mark. One former general manager interviewed after day 2 even remarked that Sanders' slide felt personal. highlighting the perception that factors beyond pure on-field talent were heavily influencing teams' decisions. The list of teams that passed on him throughout the first 3 rounds included several with quarterback needs, like the Giants, Raiders, Saints, and Steelers, in addition to the Browns passing multiple times. Over the first 3 rounds, 5 other quarterbacks were selected before Shedeur. Cam Ward went number 1 overall to the Titans. Jackson Dart went to the Giants at 25. Tyler Shout to the Saints at 40. Jalen Milroe to the Seahawks at 67. And crucially, Dillon Gabriel went to the Cleveland Browns at pick number 131, just 13 picks before they took Sanders. That's a fascinating dynamic for his landing spot. The team that finally drafted Shedeur Sanders also drafted another quarterback, Dillon Gabriel, ahead of him in the same round, just minutes earlier. This means Shedeur joins a Browns quarterback room that now includes Dillon Gabriel, along with veterans Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett. Nothing will be handed to him. He will be competing for a spot and potentially playing time on a depth chart that just got a bit more crowded with rookie QBs. For Shedeur Sanders, being drafted in the 5th round changes the financial landscape compared to a first-round pick, meaning less guaranteed money. It also potentially lowers the initial external pressure. Although the drama of his fall guarantees he'll still be under a microscope, it's a chance to prove himself with less fanfare, perhaps allowing him to focus purely on the work. The fit in Cleveland is intriguing, a team with an established coaching staff under Kevin Stefanski, though Barry made the pick, and a QB room that is open for competition. The mystery of Shedeur Sanders' draft destination is finally over. After a historic, unprecedented fall through the first 3 rounds and into day 3, he has landed with the Cleveland Browns at pick 144. His journey to prove everyone wrong, to show that his talent and character are greater than the doubts and controversies, now begins in Cleveland. He has the opportunity he waited for, and he's ready for people to actually see the real me. Alright, after being arguably the most talked about player who wasn't drafted in the first 3 rounds, the Shedeur Sanders saga finally came to an end on Saturday in the NFL Draft. Shedeur Sanders has found his NFL home. The Cleveland Browns selected the quarterback from Colorado in the 5th round, at pick number 144 overall. This pick comes after a surprising and significant draft slide that saw him fall completely out of the first round on Thursday, and then through the second and third rounds on Friday. It was a fall that reportedly stunned even some of his biggest critics among NFL talent evaluators. After the long wait, Sanders spoke to reporters, expressing relief and gratitude. He said he was extremely grateful for the opportunity throughout everything, and that he doesn't focus on the negative because the positive happened so fast. He talked about his approach to joining the Browns locker room, wanting to show respect to the vets, and being ready to work and compete to show the coaches the real me. He added he was truly thankful for the opportunity for people to actually see the real me and not be able to see stuff that could be true or not, seemingly referencing that pre-draft anonymous criticism that surfaced. He even celebrated the moment by jumping into a pool with his socks on at his watch site. From the Browns' perspective, GM Andrew Barry explained their rationale. He said they live by our board, and felt that at pick 144, Sanders was a good, solid prospect, who was probably mispriced relative to the draft. Barry believes the acquisition cost was pretty light at that spot and that Sanders is a guy they think can outproduce his draft stock. Barry specifically complimented Sanders' accuracy and ability to play from the pocket. He emphasized that nothing has been promised to Sanders, and he's expected to come in and work and compete. This pick happened after 5 other quarterbacks were drafted ahead of him, including Dillon Gabriel, who the Browns also drafted earlier in the day. Sanders joins a Browns quarterback room that now includes Gabriel, Joe Flacco, and Kenny Pickett. So, after a surprising and prolonged draft slide that became one of the biggest storylines of the weekend, Shedeur Sanders has landed with the Cleveland Browns in the 5th round. It puts an end to the debate about when he would be drafted. And now the focus shifts to whether he can prove the teams that passed on him wrong and show the Browns they got a steal at pick 144.